In Jamaica, Cabinet has approved the signing of an air services agreement between the governments of Jamaica and the United Arab Emirates. The deal was negotiated within the context of the Open Skies policy, which was previously approved. Open Skies liberalizes the movement of airlines between countries, creating a free market and competition. The agreement is meant specifically to remove limits on the number of carriers, the frequency per week, and the size of the aircraft operating between the states that are party to these air services agreements. In addition to commercial passenger and cargo services, the agreement seeks to facilitate code sharing among designated stakeholder airlines and to encourage fair play among all interests while discouraging discrimination and abuse of dominant positions. Open Skies are expected to expand air linkages between Jamaica and other countries, facilitate investment and tourism flows, and provide a framework within which designated commercial carriers can operate. Intra-regional carrier RedJet has started discussions with an airline in Central America and several regional governments to create a new air service link with Panama. In addition to flights to Jamaica, Guyana and Trinidad, the Barbados-based RedJet has received approval to operate service in Antigua and hopes to begin flights from that island to Guyana in another 2 months.
Red usually means stop, but it would seem there's been nothing even slowing the pace of Caribbean's new airline baby, RedJet, which on Tuesday registered its 10,000th passenger. The airline, which currently operates in Barbados, Guyana and Trinidad, is seeking to enter new routes, including South America soon.
Not only Antigua, but obviously Jamaica, Panama, St. Martin, St. Lucia, St. Kitts. These are all routes that RedJet is very keen on flying into and out of. We have acquired our third aircraft. We are just waiting on it to come in. It should be in Barbados at around October, and that is certainly when we intend to launch quite a number of different routes.
The airline has been marketing the lowest rates of US $9.99, but many have found that price does not apply when they try to book tickets. Pierre explains why not everyone gets that price.
The first 15% of the fares are available at $9.99, and as the flight fills up, then the fare does increase in $10 increments. So you'd go from $9.99 to $19.99 to $29.99 and so on. Just like any other airline, the further out you book, the lower your fare is going to be.
She says the airline is actually looking at lowering the fare of $9.99 at some point in the future.
OECS tourism representatives are scheduled to meet in Antigua next week to finalize the first ever common tourism policy for the Eastern Caribbean. The aim is to secure agreement among OECS member states on priorities and actions for the final policy. Some of the broad focus areas are transportation, tourism awareness, product development, customs and immigration procedures, environmental and cultural sustainability, and sustainable financing. Immediately following the first workshop held in St. Lucia, senior tourism officials visited all 9 OECS member states to discuss with stakeholders key issues affecting the development of tourism and to get their buy-in to the emerging common tourism policy. The consultants also presented initial findings and observations to the OECS Council of Tourism Ministers at their 10th meeting held in St. Kitts in April. At that meeting, OECS tourism ministers endorsed the priority ideas identified for inclusion in the policy, emphasizing the need for immigration and border control in the OECS to be addressed as priority issues in the policy. The pending Common Tourism Policy is within the context of the OECS Economic Union as a single financial and economic space. Stocks in the United States tumbled on Thursday, spreading fears that an already bad economic situation is about to get worse. International ratings agency Standard & Poor's downgraded the U.S. credit status from the coveted AAA status. In the Cayman Islands, those in the financial industry are keeping a close eye on the situation, monitoring any possible fallout.
The decision sent shockwaves through the financial world. Standard & Poor's downgrading the United States government's credit rating, a fall from its coveted AAA status.
We know from past experience that what happens in the USA eventually impacts Cayman.
Richard Coles is chairman of Cayman Finance. He's been monitoring the situation keenly.
It is scary, and I think you see that in the financial markets.
U.S. stocks plunged Monday in the aftermath of the downgrade due to Washington's handling of its debt situation.
People are nervous. They're nervous because they're uncertain, and financial markets hate uncertainty.
While he's uncertain about what exactly this means for Cayman, Mr. Coles anticipates a trickle-down effect.
So we will see something, but how quickly? I don't know.
But the Cayman Finance chairman says government is taking steps in the right direction.
The US obviously is the biggest trading partner by a mile in Cayman, but I think it's good to look at different markets. And, I commend the present government for going outside and looking at different outside investors into Cayman.
For example, the Narayana Health City being proposed by renowned Indian surgeon Dr. Devi Shetty.
We always have to look for new markets. Cayman has been traditionally very good at exploring new opportunities.
He's talking about places like India, China and Brazil, all poised to increase their stake in the global economy. Ben Mead, Cayman 27.
The West Indies Power Environmental Impact Assessment, which enables the company to begin exploratory drilling in the Sofia Valley, has been approved by the government of Dominica. The assessment was conducted to determine conditions of the geothermal reservoir in that area. The drilling plan conducted by the West Indies Power Limited calls for the drilling of 2 to 3 slim holes to a depth of 1,000 meters. Slim holes are 2 to 6 inch wells that are drilled to test for temperature, pressure, and solution chemistry. The results of these tests will allow West Indies Power to determine the size and composition of the geothermal reservoir and to begin designing the geothermal power plant to use those geothermal solutions. Construction of the drill sites will begin in the fourth quarter of 2011 and drilling is planned for the second quarter of 2012. It will employ both foreign contractors and Dominican workers. West Indies Power is an independent power producer specializing in the development of geothermal energy in the Caribbean, with geothermal development projects in St. Kitts and Nevis, Saba, and other Caribbean islands. This is Walter Barrett for JTV News.